The Young and the Restless spoilers. Mariah Copeland's life, once filled with moments of hope and the promise of stability, has now descended into an unrelenting nightmare. Her every step is clouded by the ghosts of her past, the terrifying possibility that her twin sister, Cassie Newman, may still be alive, and the unshakable feeling that something, or someone, is determined to keep her trapped in a web of deceit. Mariah has always struggled with the heavy weight of her sister's death, the grief of losing Cassie when she was just a child, but now, the very core of her existence is shaken to its foundation. Could it be true? Could Cassie have survived all these years, and if so, what would that mean for Mariah, her family, and the entire world of Genoa City? The rumors are swirling, louder with each passing day. Whispers of Cassie's survival have become a dangerous, insidious force that threatens to unravel everything Mariah has built. In the tight-knit, often unforgiving world of Genoa City, no secret can remain hidden for long. The past, once buried deep beneath layers of heartache and time, is coming back to haunt Mariah in ways she never could have imagined. These whispers speak of a twin sister who somehow survived the fatal car crash, hidden away by the man who has caused Mariah more pain than anyone else in her life, Ian Ward. Ian Ward, the man who has manipulated, tortured, and psychologically warped countless individuals throughout his twisted life, is at the heart of this conspiracy. He has always been a figure lurking in the shadows, an evil puppeteer pulling the strings behind some of Genoa City's darkest moments. His obsession with Mariah is no secret, as he has tried, and failed, multiple times to pull her into his web of manipulation. But what if his latest scheme was even more horrific than anything he had attempted before? What if, in his twisted mind, Ian had somehow orchestrated Cassie's survival, turning her into an unwilling tool in his sick game of control? The idea that Cassie might still be alive is more than just a rumor. It is a living nightmare that Mariah can't shake. What could be worse than the thought of losing her twin sister all over again? What if Cassie had been kept hidden from the world, her life shaped by Ian's cruel influence, and now, as an adult, Cassie has been brainwashed into believing she is loyal to the very man who stole her away from her family? The implications of this are enough to shatter anyone's sense of self, and Mariah, as fragile as she is in her struggle with the past, is left to wonder if she can ever truly escape Ian's grasp. Ian's control over Cassie would not just be a tragic twist, it would be a devastating betrayal. Mariah has already suffered so much in her life. The memory of her sister's death has haunted her for years, a constant presence in her mind. Now, the possibility that Cassie is alive, but under Ian's control, means that the sister she's mourned for so long may not even recognize her anymore. And what of Mariah's family? How would Sharon, Nick, and the rest of the Newmans react if they learned the unthinkable, that Cassie had been alive this whole time, hidden away from them all? Would they even believe Mariah if she tried to explain the truth, or would they question her sanity, thinking it another manifestation of the trauma she has endured? But perhaps the most devastating thought of all is the realization that Ian has turned Cassie into a weapon, using her as a tool to break Mariah once and for all. Mariah has always fought to hold on to her identity, to carve out a life that isn't defined by the mistakes and pain of her past. But Ian knows exactly how to exploit her vulnerability. If he can convince Cassie that Mariah is the enemy, that her sister is somehow the one responsible for all the pain in her life, Ian will have successfully pitted them against each other, just as he did with so many other families and relationships. It would be the ultimate betrayal for Mariah, not just the loss of her sister once again, but the realization that Cassie, the person who was once her closest ally, is now the one who could destroy her. Mariah's struggle is one of isolation and fear, a constant battle to maintain her own sanity in the face of overwhelming doubt. She is a woman who has suffered so much already, and yet, every day she wakes up to the same question: what if Cassie is alive? What if the sister she once knew is now under Ian Ward's control, a puppet in his twisted game? The thought consumes her, driving her to the brink of madness. She wants peace, she wants a life where she doesn't have to live in the shadow of her sister's death. But that life seems further out of reach than ever before, as every time she tries to move forward, the past drags her back. Sharon and Nick, ever supportive, try to help Mariah as best they can, but they are unaware of the full scope of her torment. They have no idea that the real struggle is not with the world around her, but with the memories and the doubt that plague her every thought. Mariah's relationship with Tessa is one of the few constants she has, and Tessa's unwavering support is a lifeline. Yet even Tessa can only offer so much comfort when the truth, or the possibility of truth, hangs like a sword over them all. Mariah cannot fully open up to Tessa about her fears, for she knows that the truth about Cassie's survival, if it were ever revealed, would tear apart everything they have built. As Mariah's world unravels, one thing becomes clear: the stakes have never been higher. If Cassie is indeed alive, the consequences for Mariah and everyone around her could be catastrophic. Ian Ward's involvement is the final nail in the coffin. He is not just a master manipulator, he is a monster capable of destroying lives for his own amusement. His mind games are so subtle, so insidious, that even those closest to him may not realize they are being pulled into his web until it's too late. Mariah, caught between the past and the present, may be the one who loses everything, including her sanity, if she cannot break free of Ian's grip. And then there's the question that haunts her most of all: what if Cassie really is alive? If the answer is yes, then the world Mariah has known for years will come crashing down, and there will be no escape from the consequences of Ian Ward's twisted schemes. As the pieces fall into place, Mariah's fate hangs in the balance, and the future of Genoa City may be forever altered by the return of a long-lost twin. A twin who may be as dangerous as the man who has pulled the strings for far too long. The storyline surrounding Mariah Copeland's haunting memory is filled with layers of uncertainty, deception, and a slow, burning unraveling of the truth. As the audience is drawn deeper into her fractured psyche, the question that lingers in the air, and one that cuts to the core of Mariah's struggle, is whether her memory of killing the man played by Michael Swan is real. Is it possible that she truly killed him, and if so, why? Or is this just another distortion of her troubled past, a product of the emotional and psychological trauma she's endured, especially after the shocking return of Ian Ward? The tension within Mariah's character lies in this unresolved mystery. The audience already knows Ian Ward is still alive, his presence a constant threat to the delicate peace Mariah has tried to rebuild. So, it's only natural to wonder whether Ian is tied to Swan's character in some way. Is he the catalyst for Mariah's violent reaction? Is the memory of her choking this man a reflection of the suppressed anger and fear she felt when Ian reappeared in her life months ago? Or is this memory a manifestation of something darker, a terrifying act of violence that she may have committed in a moment of rage, guilt, or self-defense? Mariah's confusion is understandable. The fragmentation of her memories and the anxiety she experiences daily distort her perception of reality. If she truly killed this man, could it have been an act of delayed rage, a physical manifestation of the pent-up anger she has long kept buried inside? Ian's return, the man who has caused her so much psychological torment over the years, might have triggered something deep within Mariah, forcing her to confront emotions she was never ready to face. Is the murder a reflection of the rage she feels toward Ian, a reaction to his constant interference in her life, or is it something more sinister? The unsettling reality is that Mariah's own mind may be betraying her. She wants so badly to believe that she acted in self-defense, that she did what she had to do to survive. However, the nature of her memory, fragmented, hazy, and filled with gaps, suggests that there are more questions than answers. Did she kill him in cold blood, or was it an accident, a violent reaction that escalated beyond her control? These are questions that Mariah herself cannot fully answer, and perhaps that is the most terrifying part of it all. The fear that she may not even know the truth of her own actions is a haunting thought that weighs heavily on her every day. To further complicate things, Mariah has chosen to distance herself from the very people who care about her the most. Her decision to isolate herself from Tessa, Sharon, and the rest of her loved ones is a direct result of the guilt and confusion she feels over what happened. She believes that the only way to cope with the overwhelming shame of her actions is to push everyone away. But this self-imposed isolation only exacerbates her depression, making her feel more disconnected from the world around her. The internal battle between wanting to confess and needing to bury the truth is something Mariah cannot escape, and it is this emotional conflict that pushes her into deeper despair. She longs for peace, for the ability to move past this moment in her life, but it seems impossible when the truth is locked inside her mind, a truth she is too terrified to confront. As the layers of her secret begin to peel away, Mariah is forced to reckon with the possibility that her memory may not be entirely accurate. Could it be that she is imagining the murder, that the events in her mind were distorted by the trauma of her past and the overwhelming fear of Ian's influence? What if her memories of that night are not a reflection of reality, but a desperate attempt to find a way to make sense of the chaos in her life? The line between reality and illusion is becoming increasingly blurred for Mariah, and the more she tries to make sense of what happened, the further she is drawn into the darkness. The question that remains, however, is whether the truth will come to light, and if it does, what consequences will Mariah face? Tessa, who has stood by Mariah's side through thick and thin, will inevitably be impacted by whatever secret Mariah is hiding. Tessa's loyalty and love for Mariah are unwavering, but how will their relationship survive the weight of a potential betrayal, especially if Mariah is forced to confront the truth of her actions? Will Tessa remain the comforting presence she has been, or will she struggle to understand the depth of Mariah's pain and the horror of the secret she is keeping? Then there is Daniel Romalotti, whose involvement with Mariah and his connection to the past makes this revelation even more complicated. Daniel, forever haunted by the tragedy of Cassie's death, has tried to build a life beyond the sorrow of the past. Yet, now he finds himself once again entangled with Mariah, but this time, it's not just about shared grief over Cassie. It's about the fear that his own guilt and past trauma could collide with the dark secret Mariah is hiding. Daniel has always carried the weight of Cassie's death, and now, if Mariah's secret is revealed, it could pull him right back into the chaos that he thought he had left behind. The question now is whether Mariah's secret will destroy their fragile connection, or if Daniel can find a way to forgive her for something that may be beyond her control. In the world of Genoa City, secrets never stay buried for long, and Mariah's hidden truth is no exception. While she may believe that isolating herself is the only way to deal with the overwhelming guilt, the fact remains that secrets cannot be hidden forever. Eventually, the truth will come out, and when it does, the consequences will be far-reaching. Mariah will have to face not only the actions she may have taken but also the emotional fallout that comes with exposing her most terrifying memory to the world. The relationships she holds most dear, with Tessa, with Daniel, with Sharon, and with the rest of her family, will be forever changed by the revelation. But the biggest question remains, what will it mean for Mariah herself? Will the truth set her free, or will it drive her further into the darkness she's been trying to escape? Genoa City has always been a place where secrets shape the lives of its residents, but Mariah's story stands as one of its most tragic and complex. The truth of what happened that night may change everything for her, and as the pieces of her fractured memory fall into place, the world around her will never be the same.